Let's check these out. So number one, our job is to complete this table. We're given a function, y equals 2x plus 1, and then we have a domain. Once we complete the table, we're going to graph the table here, okay? So the first thing we have to understand is they actually completed part of the table for us. It's called the domain. If you recall, the domain is just all your x values, all your inputs. Okay, so I'm going to list all these, my domain, into the x column, or the x part of the table. So it's 0, 1, 2, 5, 7. Okay, now I want to complete the y part of the table. How do I do that? I use my function. So what we're going to do is take each x individually, and we're going to plug in each x into the x for the equation. Okay, so my first x I'm going to plug in is 0. So I'm going to plug in 0 for x. So with parentheses, and now we could do the math. Y equals, and then 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1, we have y equal to 1. That is your first point. And what I mean by point, remember your points are your x value first, your y value second. So I can now plot this point onto this graph. So it's going to be 0, comma 1, which would be right here. Okay, and this is what you're going to do for number 1 and number 2. So complete the rest of number 1. Finish up number 2. Number 2 is a little more difficult because we have this fraction here, but just use a calculator or something when you're finding the y's. Okay, and then you're going to graph your dots. So I want you to complete this, and then if you finish this, you are working on the calendar problems for this week. So make sure you complete that. And your access code will be given to you at 9:15. So if you want to leave now, you can, but I need you to return at 9:15. Okay? Stay on. I'm going to be on for questions if you have any questions on this. If not, you're free to stay on or leave and get that work done. Okay? Just so you could check to see if you're doing it correctly. So I plugged in 0, now I'm going to plug in 1. So I'll erase this and this. So that gives me 2 plus 1, which would give me 3. So my point is 1, comma 3, which is here. And now I'm going to plug in 2 in for x. Two times 2 is 4, plus 1 more, that gives me 5. So that gives me 2, comma 5. And now we plug in 5 for x. That's 10 plus 1. That gives me 11. So that is 5, comma 11. So I forgot 2, 5 is here, and then 5, comma 11 is up here. And then last is plug in 7. So 14 plus 1, that gives me 15. So 15 here, so that's 7, comma 15. That's way up here. Okay, so your graph should look something like that. All right. Number 2, same idea. My domain is these numbers here, so I'm going to write them in for my x values. 10, 13, 14, 16, 18. Okay, and we're going to find our y values by plugging it in for this x. So my y values will equal 1/2 times x. So I'm going to plug in 10 first, minus 5. So again, I know some people get scared away by fractions. Just throw this stuff in your calculator. You could do 1 divided by 2 times 10, okay? So if you do this correctly, this gives you 5 minus 5, which is 0. So 10, comma 0 is right here. Now we're going to plug in 13. One half times 13 is 6.5. Bring down the negative 5. You get 1.5. So 13, 1.5. So we go here, 13, 1.5. So halfway there. Plug in the next one is 14. Half of 14, or 14 times 1/2 is 7, minus 5, you get 2. So we have 14 comma 2, which is that guy right there. And then we're going to plug in 16. Half of 16 is 8. 8 minus 5 is 3. So we have 16 comma 3, which is there. And then the last one is 18. Half of 18 is 9. 9 minus 5, we get 4. So we have 18 comma 4. And that is our graph there. So just a reminder, this is your domain, this is your range, and this is your function. Okay? Guys, that's pretty much what you were supposed to be turning in today. So you're adding this to practice 1.4, 1 through 8. Okay, so add these 2 extra problems to it and turn it in all together. But if you know how to do what I just showed you, then you should have no issues with this assignment here, okay? I'm gonna stay on till about 9:30ish. So if you need help with anything, checking in. If you need help with some more problems or anything about the calendar, anything like that, let me know, stay on, and we'll go from there, okay? Or if you're new and you need explanation on how the calendar works, let me know. All right, I'm gonna give you your access code. Please check in before you leave so I can mark you here, okay? So your access code today is late. LATE. So go to your calendar, go to period 4, 5, and 6 check-in. Take the quiz by accessing the quiz with the code late. Okay, unless you don't have any questions, you are dismissed. Keep up with the calendar. The assignment from Friday is quiz, so make sure you get that and know how to do it. Have a good one.